Hello everybody, Steve here for Who Took My Dice, Ultramarines Beyond, and welcome back to the channel. We are almost halfway through July now, and we're almost a month into 11th edition of Warhammer 40,000. A lot's been going on. It's been a lot of fun to see. I'm liking the new set. I'm waiting to pick up a copy. I'm also waiting to pick up the cards and the new terrain templates they have, because they look pretty cool. I understand their cardboard, which is kind of a letdown. I was hoping they'd be something a bit more malleable. Cardboard doesn't have a great shelf life when you're using it all the time. But yeah, so we're almost a month into 11th edition. I haven't had a game yet. I've been trying to, but unfortunately schedules haven't worked out. But I have been trying to get a lot of terrain done in the last little while, and I'll show you some stuff I've done up recently. I've also had some other cool ideas. I've been printing up some other stuff just because it caught my attention. It was cool and has a bit of a historical throwback to the yesteryears of 40k. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing that really caught my attention recently was the Eldari Exodites. Look really, really cool, and I'm glad they're finally getting some actual models. It's only sad there's only technically 3. There's 5 models on the Eldari side, the Exodite side, but 2 of them are little dragon doggy things, and they're cute, they're cool. I was hoping for more, but this does, hopefully, if it follows the trend we've seen, we may be getting a full Eldari army in the the fullness of time. We saw that with the squats or the league. They start popping up in Necromunda as little things here and there, and then boom, we got a squad army. The same thing can be said with Kroot. Now I know Kroot have been around a long time, but Kroot got their own kill team, and I'm assuming it did well, because now we have you can make a full Kroot army if you want to, which is very, very cool. You could always sort of do that, but they filled it out with more units, with the new units, and some of them are very nasty. I've had the privilege of fighting my friend's Tau army a number of occasions, and he's gone with one of the auxiliary cadre detachments, which has a lot of Kroot in there, the Rampagers. If you don't get them, they will get you. So get them first. They're really cool. But back to that. So it's really cool to see Exodites. They've been in lots of books. I remember back in the day, the creature feature stuff that Games Workshop used to do back in 3rd edition, where you could build your own monsters or mounts, and I saw a lot of people do Exodites because it was cool. And I mean, they've been featured in everything from 40k books to Horus Heresy stuff. It's cool to see. It's cool to see them getting some love. But that comes to what I decided to do. So I put a picture up not too long ago, but I picked up like a dollar store dinosaur, some sort of raptor looking monster, right, including the feathers. And now where did that part go? And I've misplaced it. Anyways, I have actually some high elf parts from back in the day that I'm going to put on there, and mix up some bits to sort of make that weird mixture that the Exodites have of having, armored up, but obviously there's more of a natural vibe to them. The fact that they've sort of they save themselves by getting away from all the hedonism and corruption of their elder race back in the day before everything went to pot. I'm actually looking for this one. Is sort of a work in progress. I'm still planning out. I need to put some strapping on it, like you see in those models. And I don't know where I put it. I actually have part of an old white lion chariot, or the horse chariot, that will go sit on top of that. And I have them gathering up some other parts so I can sort of put strapping around and add pouches and weapons to it, and a suitable base. I'm trying to find a suitable base size, not sure. So this can be on there as sort of some giant hunting monster, with maybe some sort of weapon. I do have some Eldari weapons I can put on there. I'm trying to find a way to mount it so it looks like it's movable, and we'll have a character on top, right? Much like the units we saw. So that's one project. I'm still trying to find appropriate materials for that, though. The next one, talked about terrain. I've been printing off a number. I have some that I've already done. It's over there. This is the latest one, though. A wrecked rhino. I was just messing about in Thingiverse, I saw it and I had to make it. I know it's hard to see there, but I painted up a blue, a darker blue, maybe. But I also want to kind of make it look faded, like it'd been there a while. Pretty simple, just some painted silver there for the blast marks, and then went over it with some Agrax Earthshade and some Nuln Oil to darken it up, just to make it look like it's been there a while. I love terrain like this. What's cool is I've measured it upside next to a Rhino. It is the same size. Obviously, there's a chunk of it missing. The tracks here are missing. You can still, I haven't painted the bottom, but, and obviously a good chunk's out. I love little bits like this because it adds so much character to your table. It is, you know, all the new terrain is really cool. And I said 11th edition has opened everything wide up to what's come, like to what you can do. And it's cool to have lots of Imperial buildings of different heights. But I think things like this add some character because you can see what's left of a previous battle. It adds some flavor to it. It does break up the, don't want to say monotony, but the sameness of having Imperial building, Imperial building, Imperial building, Imperial building, or, you know, whatever building you've decided. I love Idic Beer's tables. He's got all the Necron monoliths and different buildings. It looks cool. And it adds a flavor to his tables. I hope this adds some flavor to my table when I get one going. Yeah, so that was really cool. The other thing I worked on is a big throwback to probably, Rogue Trader, the Rogue Trader era, 2nd edition. That was, you know, before I got into it. And even when I got into 2nd edition, I had no idea the scope of things even then, right? I mean, you think it was a long time ago. It didn't have the same connectivity we have to it now, with everything being online and forums and YouTube videos all over the place. Many years ago, I first started out, it was like, I found it, like I said, I found it in a shop in North Bay, Ontario. There was no one introduced to me. There was no, you know, online learning tool that, as Games Workshop said, they're going to be sending out soon to teach you how to do it, to show you. So it was kind of all learn as you go. If you're lucky enough to have a hobby store, or lucky enough to be next to a Games Workshop store or somewhere, you could go to it and learn. But this is from a time long before, and it's one of those things that you can find still. It's very expensive, very limited, very hard to get. So I printed off. This is an old Eldar Falcon. It is a close proximity to what the old one looked like. So this is it was a transport even back then, with a big cannon on there. Obviously significantly different from what they look like now, but you can see some of the shapes and the orbs and gems all over it, as you know, we've come to expect from the Eldari. But this is what it used to look like. Even got some of the, you know, the Eldari symbols in the back. Now, this is one I found online, 3D printed it, didn't make it. I always say that. But the other one was armor cast, which was a resin of sorts. It's actually about the same size. I measured it out. It is the same 8 inches that the other one was. We get in. This was what it looked like. You can see the beginnings of what would become Eldari vehicles later on. This one's far more, you know, boxy and it's spearheaded, and but some of the same stuff is still there. And this is a great facsimile of it, right? So it was really cool. I painted up like my Oathway. I may actually print up a few more just to have fun. Obviously not armed the same way as the Falcon is now. I'm not even sure if Falcons are still in the army or not. I haven't kept up with Eldari at all. But it was cool to paint up. And I went for some golds and silvers and the Oathway colors there. And I had to go for like a classic green on the different ports there. And I'm not sure if that's just supposed to be like a, you know, a glass ceiling to it, or if it's supposed to be a giant, you know, gem, soul stone, what have you. Even the bottom I did a little bit under there. So it was a lot of cool. And of course the black was a classic formula where I just painted black. You prime it, you make sure you paint it with a black, put a wash, do some dry brushing, put a wash on it, then pick out some of the highlights again. That way you get a black that doesn't look like it's like a flat black. There is still some highlighting. The cannon here I did as a silver. just to sort of separate it. Made it dark though. Gold here on the trims just because it looked cool on the, I guess I'm assuming it's supposed to be like the anti-grav part of it, because there is a hole at the bottom so you can have it actually floating above the ground, as it is supposed to be anti-grav. So that's what I've been doing lately. That's kind of really the update. I'm going to be hopefully soon, as I said, getting the base templates, because I cut some out. They're a little bit off. They're not 100% great, but that's fine. I definitely want to get the chapter proof cards so I can, play all the missions appropriately. I definitely want to go into 11th playing the game with more knowledge than I did in 10th. 10 was a lot of fun games, but didn't really get into every single thing because there just wasn't time. So I want to do that. I think I'm also going to pick up probably the basic recruit box. I think it has like 6 Space Marines altogether and 6 orcs and cardboard terrain, which brings back a lot of memories from way back in the day with second ed, even with fantasy. Having cardboard terrain, it was always a bit cool. Definitely gonna pick that up. It'll be cool to have. Definitely want the Space Marines. Never hurts to have another lieutenant, and some intercessors will be great. That is sort of the next step. Is with my Ultramarines, I have to start getting back to painting them more. Last thing I painted was Calgar just after Christmas, and I haven't really had a chance to paint anything else. I've been very, very busy. But I have I have a Dread to paint up, the Ballistus Dread. I have a Captain to paint up, a whole bunch of more stuff. Some Stern Guard, some more Furnace Marines, which is really cool. The Furnace Marines actually, the way I'm excited to try them out just because of what they do with break tests and all that, right? The way they get battle shock, I should say, the way they do battle shock now, and how battle shock's been changed, so it's actually a bit more effective now. You don't just stop it, you actually have to pass a test to get out of it, and the whole unit is very good at battle shocking. Anything takes a wound, or I think it's a hit or a wound, I can't remember exactly, but with those big Infernus cannons or the flamers, it's like a -1 to your battle shock test because you just, I guess, all the fire. So I got 5 more to paint up. I want a 10-man unit of that. So lots left to do. But yeah, so that's sort of my update now. I just wanted to go through that. Thank you everybody who's been watching, who's been following along. I've had a lot of people, well, for me, subscribing. So thank you to all the new people who've hopped on. It means a lot to me. I look forward to trying to get more of this done. That's my next, one of my big goals along with painting Ultramarines is to get this thing done. And yes, I'll be painting up, this is, typical dollar store paint job. It's not very good. I'm going to take my time, pick up the teeth, all the little bumps and the feathers here. He's got little feathers on his arms, so definitely going to have a lot of fun with that. But as always, thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Keep rolling those dice. Bye.